Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Food Experience. Today's experience, I got a new air fryer. Not to replace the one I already have, but to have in addition to. That way I could use my original air fryer oven to cook the larger items and this guy to cook smaller items. So I came across this company called Aukey, and they make the Alpha Elite air fryer. So I decided to pick it up. I couldn't go wrong. They had a half off discount coupon on their website. So I only paid $50 for this, which included free shipping. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and unbox it, go over all the controls, and then cook a couple simple items with it. And here we go. Here's a look at one of the sides of the Alpha Elite Air Fryer Oven by Aukey Home. Little picture of the device. Another side of the device, you have their customer support information. Another side, you'll see a bit of innovation, Aukey Home, with another picture of the device. The remaining side, you'll have some of the specifications. The first thing you'll get in the box is this Aukey Home little packet right here, Your Home Reimagined. Inside of the packet, you'll get a quick start guide, a card with a QR code directing you to some recipes, a thank you card inviting you to register to gain a bonus year warranty, and the Alpha Elite Air Fryer Oven User Manual. Next, there's a piece of foam to remove. Then you have the main device. And that's all that's inside the box besides another piece of styrofoam. Next, you want to remove all the plastic that's covering the device. And one thing I immediately noticed that's really cool, it has suction cups for feet on the bottom. Next, there's additional plastic wrapping that you'll need to remove. There's also a couple pieces of strapping tape that you'll have to remove. There is additional plastic to remove from the top. Has a really nice glossy finish, I will say. On the front, you'll see Aukey Home with their logo, and you also have a release button right here. When you press it, the top opens up and it latches closed. Once it's closed, it's locked into place. On both of the sides, you'll have handles. On the back of the device, you'll see some ventilation, and there's also your power cord that is also wrapped in plastic. I just measured the power cord and it looks like it's 3.5 feet long. Let's go ahead and open it up. When opening the lid, the first thing you're going to notice is right here there's a grill, and it has a heating element behind it, and I believe there's also a fan behind that. There are 3 screws holding the grill in place, so it looks like it is possible to remove it for cleaning. Also located inside of the bottom, there is a grill plate. It's kind of a crisper plate. I'm not going to lie, the bottom edges are a little bit sharp. They could have rounded those off a little bit, but it's supposed to sit upright like this. Then you have the fry basket that lifts right out. It's rather deep, actually. Below that, there is a cardboard insert that you want to discard. And they recommend before using the device to definitely wash this with soapy water. Same with the grill plate. I just rinsed out the fry basket, going to reinstall it. And it will lock into place because the handles fit inside of these grooves on the side. That's a very good design for sure. I also just washed the crisp and grill plate with soapy water. Going to go ahead and put it in. So let's go ahead and close the lid. You'll feel it latch into place. Next, I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. Going over the top, you'll see a start-stop illuminated soft touch button. Go ahead and press it. Everything else comes up. You'll have max crisp, air fry, air broil, air grill, air roast, bake, dehydrate, and reheat. There's also an indicator right here that switches between Fahrenheit and how many minutes you have set. There's also a temperature decrease and increase button, and it looks like it goes in increments of 5 degrees at a time. You could hold it down and it scrolls pretty quick. Press the plus button, it's going to go all the way up, and it stops at 400 degrees. Next, you have a menu button, and when you press menu, it's going to navigate through the different choices along the top. And each one has its own little preset for time and temperature. Next to that, you have a light button. It'll turn on the light inside the device. You'll see it there. I press it again and it goes off. And it's really nice because you do have this viewing window right here. Next from that, you have the time decrease or increase. And you could certainly hold them down as well. And it's going to go all the way up and stop at 1 hour. Just like that. You press it again, it does not round robin. First thing I want to do is make sure the device works. Most air fryers tell you to do a burn-in test. This one really doesn't. And I'm not going to go a full hour. I'm going to go ahead and set it for 10 minutes. And it beeps every time you press those buttons. All air fryers seem to do that. But once you want to start a function, press the start stop button. And now it's started up. I could hear it going. While the function is going, you could certainly decrease or increase the temperature, and same with the time. While it is in operation, make sure never to cover these holes that are along the top. They're ventilation holes. I believe these are air intake for the fan. And out the back side, there's additional ventilation that I showed you. And that's going to be very hot coming out. Make sure not to have it butted up against a wall, and certainly don't put your hand in front of it. So we're going to wait the duration. Once this is complete, I'll check back with you. There we go. It now says end, so the cycle is complete. You'll notice the fan stays on for a little bit, probably to cool down the device. And one thing I noticed while I was cooking, I'm touching the device, and it's a little bit warm on top, but it's not blazing hot. And as far as the sides go, they're just a little bit warm. Nothing too major. I definitely like that. And when it's complete, the light will turn on. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And boy, yeah, there's a lot of heat coming out of that. So now I know the device works. Let's go ahead and put it to the test. One thing I want to note while waiting for the basket to cool down, I don't know if you could see it, but look at that. It got me pretty good. That was from touching that sharp edge that I told you about on the grill plate. Wow, be very careful with that. The first and most obvious thing I'm going to cook in this are these Lamb Weston super crispy crinkle cut fries. One thing I like about Lamb Weston, they actually have air frying instructions. They tell you to preheat the air fryer to 360, fill the air fryer basket with a half bag, cook for 12 to 14 minutes, slide out the basket and shake halfway through cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and arrange them. It's best if you could do it in a single layer. And actually I don't even have that many fries in here, so it looks like it will be a single layer. And if that's the case, you really don't need to shake it at all. And it says to preheat, however, this thing's still hot from before. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. I'm going to leave it on max crisp, but I'm going to adjust the temperature down to 360. And it says cook for 12 to 14 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead with 13 minutes. And let's go ahead and start it. And like I said, you could see your food through the viewing window here, and I think that's really cool. A lot of the smaller air fryer devices, you can't really do that. You can't monitor the food while it's in progress. The cooking process is almost complete. And one thing I noticed, they are getting a little bit brown. There's a minute left. I'm going to add one more minute to make it the full 14 minutes that they recommend on the packaging. They do recommend a 3-minute preheat time in the manual, and I suppose if I did that, they probably would have been ready anywhere between 11 and 12 minutes. Yeah, they're definitely getting nice and brown now. There we go. Process is complete, and they look like they're brown and not too brown. That's what I'm looking at. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the basket. And this basket's going to be very hot, so don't touch the sides of it. All right, let's see if I could empty the contents onto my plate. And I had a feeling that could possibly happen. That grill plate definitely wants to come loose. There's nothing really holding it into place. So I'm going to use an oven mitt and dump it out. That way the plate doesn't come out with it. There's one stuck to the bottom there. So that's what I'm looking at. Looks really good. Let's go back up top and sample them real quick. Okay, here's the French fries. I'm going to season them with some Red Robin seasoned salt. Let's go ahead and give them a try. Nice. Good crispy exterior. The insides still have some moisture, which is good. So all in all, I will say this first cooking adventure in the Alpha Elite is a win, except for my thumb. Let's go ahead and move on and try something else. The next and final test I'm going to do is to check out the bake mode. I'm going to go ahead and bake a Stouffer's French bread pepperoni pizza. This time I will preheat, so I'm going to go ahead and hit start stop. Then I'm going to go ahead and hit menu until it gets to bake. Recommended temperature is going to be 375 degrees. Recommended time is 24 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set it for 27. That allows for the preheat. And away it goes. Okay, 3 minutes is up. You want to do this kind of swiftly. I'm going to go ahead and put the pizza on, close the door, and it's going to automatically resume. Another thing I want to note is they recommend decreasing the temperature by 25 degrees from when you're baking something that would normally be in a conventional oven. Okay, it still has 9 minutes to go, but you know what? It's done. I'm going to stop the cycle. That's what I'm looking at right now. And I'm guessing if I would have started it at 20 degrees or 25 degrees below the temperature on the box, it probably would have taken the right amount of time. Now, hopefully the bread is definitely good inside and not still frozen. We're going to find out. So I'm going to go ahead and remove, put it on a plate. That's what I'm looking at. Now let's go back up and I'll sample it with you guys. All right, there's the pizza. Let me go ahead and take a bite out of it. Hopefully it's cooled down a bit. It's been cooling off for a couple minutes. Nice and crispy, crunchy on the outside. Definitely nice and piping hot. Now what I'm going to do is cut into it halfway and check the middle. Okay, I've gone ahead and cut it in half. And here's the middle right here. And it's definitely not frozen. It's definitely piping hot. I'll tell you what, that is cooked good through and through. It's perfectly done. Next time I probably will go with their instructions and start it at a lesser temperature. But nonetheless, even though I did it this way, I'm not going to complain either. It's really decent. So here we are at the end of the video. Time for some pros and some cons, right? The first con, it's going to be with that grill plate. It really did cut my finger pretty decent. I don't know if decent's the right word, but it definitely cut it. So I want to give one recommendation to Aukey. The bottom side of that plate, just round the edges. Don't make them so sharp. It'll be really much better for people that way. Even though, you know, you could take certain precautions against it, it really shouldn't have any sharp edges. The only other possible con I could think of is the preheat. It doesn't really have a preheat function, so it just tells you to set 3 minutes. And 3 minutes may not be enough to get it up to 400 degrees. I'm going to have to maybe run some tests on that just to be sure. But it would be nice to see whatever function you have set. It would be great to see that function flash during the preheat time. And when it's up to temperature, then have that light turn solid. That way the user knows, hey, it's preheated, it's ready to go. It may even be less than 3 minutes depending on the temperature. It could be more than 3 minutes. We really don't know, but I'm going to find out. Next weekend, I'll run some temperature checks on it. Oh yeah, and one more con I could think of. That grill plate that sets in there. I think it would be good if you were able to set it in there and maybe turn it like a quarter turn and have it lock into place. If they had some kind of rail in there or some kind of locking mechanism, it could easily be done. I know it could be easily done. But if they had a way to do that, so you just rotate it and it locks and you rotate it back and it's unlocked, that way when you're removing food and you go to dump it out, that grill plate's not going to come out with it. So Aukey, if you could possibly implement that on your next release, that would be awesome. That plus the sharp edges. Other than that, everything works beautiful. I like the design of the unit. I like the buttons on the top, the soft touch buttons. I like the release that it has on the front and the way the door pops open. It's not a basket you have to remove. I like the see-through viewing window and the light that it has. Makes it super easy to see where your food is at. It definitely seems to cook nice and evenly. Also, the air fryer fan on it It has a pretty low volume. I've heard other air fryers, and this one is not very loud at all. It's definitely super quiet. I really do enjoy it. It's definitely worth the 50 bucks I paid for it, and I'm definitely going to be using it to cook the smaller items, while my air fryer oven I'm going to be using for the larger items. Also, next weekend when I do a temperature check video on it, I think I'll go ahead and try some fresh chicken wings to see how they come out, and maybe even an ear of corn. So stay tuned for that video. Other than that, I think it's a wrap. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please drop me a line below. I love hearing from you guys and interacting with you. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I got all kinds of good things lined up. So with that said, have a stellar day. Be excellent. And most of all, remember me. I'm KJ Andy O, your food experience host with the most. Y'all take care, and I'll see you next time.